Monday, October 5, 2020. We are meeting virtually tonight, again, because it is not yet practical or prudent to meet in person. So with that, I'd like to ask if all would please rise and join the Village Board in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Rosenberg?
Here.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Here.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Here.
Trustee Padovani?
Here.
Trustee Scaletta?
Here.
Trustee Baldino?
Here.
Trustee Canty?
Here.
Trustee LaBedz?
Here.
President Hayes?
Here. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes, and we have one set to approve tonight. That's the Village Board meeting minutes from September 21, 2020. Are there any changes or passes?
Move approval?
Pass.
All right, one pass by Trustee Padovani,
No. No.
Trustee
Scaletta.
Scaletta. And a motion to approve by Trustee LaBedz. And who was the second?
Bert.
Trustee Rosenberg. All right, any questions or comments from the board or from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg?
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta?
Pass.
Pass. Thank you. Trustee Padovani?
Yes.
Trustee Canty?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the accounts payable, and I'd call on Trustee Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mayor Hayes. I move approval of the warrant register with a check date of September 30th, 2020 in the amount of $1,127,835.51.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Rosenberg, seconded by Trustee Padovani. Any questions or comments from the board? Anything from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Rosenberg?
Yes.
Trustee Padovani?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
Trustee Canty? Trustee Canty?
She looks frozen.
I think she's frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta?
Yes.
Trustee Canty?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes. Okay, thank you. We just bear with us for any technical difficulties tonight, but we'll get through the meeting. Next on the agenda is recognitions and presentations, and we are supposed to have a presentation by the library regarding the annual One Book, One Village community reading event. And do we have a representative from the library with us tonight?
You do. Thank you, Mayor Hayes.
There you are, Jennifer.
Hello,
Jennifer,
everybody.
If you just introduce yourself, please, Jennifer.
Absolutely. I'm Jennifer Chaika, and I am the Programs and Exhibits Manager at the library.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. We're very happy to be here with you today. Thank you for the invitation to join you virtually to share a little bit about this year's book, something we have valued doing with you each year that the One Book, One Village initiative has been going. This is our 7th year, if you can believe it. So a little bit about where this book choice came from. For the 2nd year in a row, we offered a community vote. That meant that we offered a ballot of 3 books to the community. We asked people to vote. They voted in person at the library. They voted online. They voted around town. We knew that each of these 3 books would make a wonderful read and a wonderful community discussion. And our top winner was a book called The Secrets We Kept by Laura Prescott. Here's the beautiful cover of that book on our newsletter right now. And we also have a beautiful brochure which details just the programs and discussions of this year's one book. And I hope that each of you has your copies in your hand that were delivered to you recently. So we're now going to hear a little bit more from Laura in her words. Kevin's got a video queued for us. So let's hear what Laura has to say.
Hello, Arlington Heights. My name is Laura Prescott, and I'm thrilled you've selected my debut novel, The Secrets We Kept, as your one book, one village selection. If you haven't read it, there's still time to do so. In the meantime, I'm going to give you a sneak preview about what it's about. The Secrets We Kept is a tale of secretaries turned spies, of love and duty, and of sacrifice. It's inspired by the true story of the CIA's plot to infiltrate the hearts and minds of Soviet Russia. Not with propaganda, but with the greatest love story of the 20th century, Horace Pasternak's Dr. Zhivago. I can't wait to discuss my novel with you all on November 12th. Thanks again for reading, and I'll see you soon.
Laura shared, you are going to have an opportunity to meet her virtually on November 12th. She's joining a very impressive roster of best-selling, well-beloved authors who have come to Arlington Heights to visit us through our first 6 years of One Book, One Village. And we're very happy that she's able to join us from her home in Austin, Texas this year. Hopefully she'll pay us a visit later on when it's safe to do so. In addition to her visit, One Book, One Village is always embellished by wonderful discussions, lots of opportunities to read the book and discuss it with your community members, and programs that are themed to kind of enhance the reading experience and invite you in from a lot of different ways. This year's programs do focus on that Cold War CIA backdrop of the book, so there's very fun things, including this Thursday, meeting a former CIA agent named Joe the Spy Catcher Navarro. He will be joining us on Zoom to share a little bit about his background, so something that we think will be really impressive to people who have read the book. We'll also do things to celebrate the heritage, like pierogi making. So you can find all of the events that are coming up for the One Book, One Village, all of the discussions at ahml.info. You'll also find everything you need there about picking up the book. So to anybody who is looking for a copy, you can pick up a book at the library Senior Center, as an ebook on Cloud Library. You can also pick up your books and get them held to pick up on the bookmobile. So we want to make sure everybody gets a copy in their hands in some way, and everybody joins us online to meet Laura on November 12th. So we hope you will all join us to be part of this in some way, and thank you for your time.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer and Laura. And I do have a copy of my book here, and so I'm very much looking forward to reading this particular one. It combines a lot of things that I'm interested in, and believe it or not, love stories. And so I'm very much looking forward to reading this. It looks like a relatively easy read, and that's helpful to me as well. And so, again, thank you for this annual event. I know the community very much looks forward to the One Book, One Village event. And so thank you for being here tonight, Jennifer. Thank you for this program. And thank you again for all the great work that the library does for our community.
Thank you for supporting it always, and thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, Jennifer. You too. Right, we'll move on then in the agenda to citizens to be heard. And Becky, do we have any comments that were submitted in advance of the meeting tonight?
No, we do not, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Are there any members of the audience who wish to address the board on an item not on the agenda under citizens to be heard? And I see no hands being raised, and so we'll move on then in the agenda to new business, or to old business, I'm sorry. And we do have one item to report out tonight. And that's a report from our committee of the whole meeting from earlier this evening. And I would call on Trustee Baldino.
Thank you, Mayor. I would move, as I did earlier this evening, to concur in the mayor's appointment of Hart Passman of Elrod Friedman as village attorney.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Baldino, seconded by Trustee Schwingbeck. right? Did I get that right?
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Any further questions or comments from the board? Anything from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Well, congratulations, Hart and Hart Passman and Andrew Fisk, who's joining him this evening from the firm of Elrod Friedman in Chicago as our new village attorneys. If you guys would both put on your videos, if you would, just so that the audience can see you. There you go. Again, welcome. I know it's important for our communities to know who their legal representation is as well, and so those are the faces with the names. And so, again, congratulations. Again, we look forward to a long relationship with the Elrod Friedman firm and Hart, Passman, and Andrew Fisk in particular. So welcome to both of you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you, members of the board. As I mentioned, the committee of the whole, we're terrifically excited and honored, and we're looking forward to a long relationship with all of you.
I echo that completely. Thank you again very much.
All right, thank you. All right, there is no other old business, and so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any members of the board who wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Any members of the audience wish to remove an item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, are there any members of the board who wish to vote no or pass on any item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion to approve the consent agenda by Trustee Tinaglia, seconded by Trustee Canty. If no further questions or comments, roll call.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. We'll move on then to new business, and we do have two items to consider tonight. The first is a request for a sign variation for the Goddard School located at 1316 North Arlington Heights Road. And is a representative of the petitioner present? Is that Mr. Becker? Mr. Becker, if you'd just unmute yourself, if you would.
I'm sorry. I thought I had.
There you go.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Welcome. And just introduce yourself, if you would.
Sure. I'm Jerry Becker. I'm with Fast Signs of Arlington Heights.
And I see someone from the Goddard School there as well. Is that Aaron?
Yeah. Hi, good evening. Yes, this is Erin Witt. I'm the Site Development Manager for Goddard System.
All right. If you could just tell us briefly what you're looking to do here, either one of you.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Thank you. We have two signs that we would fabricate. Well, the first one is on the front of the building, which faces Arlington Heights Road. Corporate colors of a blue that is their design element. And then on the side of the building, on the entryway, the driveway, is another set of letters with a logo identifying the main entrance, which is where students would be dropped off.
All right. Ms. Witt, did you have anything to add?
Jerry, are we still petitioning for the third sign, or is it just the two?
No, just those two. Both
Okay.
are made out of the same material, which is high-density urethane.
Okay. Nope, that's all.
Okay. Mr. Perkins, comments from the staff?
Thank you, Mayor and board members. Good evening. The request is for a sign variation to allow wall signs on this particular building in an OT zoning district that does not allow wall signs. And the reason is it's a transitional district, typically across from or adjacent to residential. In this case, majority of the property is across from Thomas High School fields. Their request is a reasonable request. Both staff and the Design Commission recommended denial of the third sign that they have now dropped in their request. So the request is for two signs, one facing Arlington Heights Road and one on the entrance to the building on the south side of the building.
All right, thank you, Charles. Questions or comments from the board? Trustee Scaletta.
First, I want to go on record that many years ago when I was running for trustee, I did buy signs from That Fast Signs that Mr. Becker represents. I paid for my signs, so I have no conflict of interest, but want to make sure I go on record. And number two, I think this makes it very simple to concur with the Design Commission recommendations, especially since they realized what they were asking for was unlikely to happen this evening. So I would move to concur with the Plan Commission recommendation.
Second.
There's a motion to concur with the Plan Commission recommendation to approve the two signs for the petitioner by Trustee Scaletta, seconded by Trustee Tinaglia. A question from Trustee Rosenberg.
Just to correct Trustee Scaletta, it's actually the Design Commission, not the Plan Commission.
My bad. Yes, you are correct. It is Design Commission.
Sorry.
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Rosenberg. Any further questions or comments from the board? Anything from the audience? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Scaletta,
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia,
Yes.
Trustee Canty,
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg,
Yes.
Trustee Baldino,
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz,
Yes.
Trustee Padovani,
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck,
Yes.
President Hayes.
Yes. Well, congratulations. Ms. Witt, when do you anticipate accepting students?
Our franchisee is actually on, so I will let them answer. Mayor?
Yes, we're waiting for our license. So first week of November, we're going to start taking students.
All right, great. If you could just introduce yourself for the record, if you would.
Sure. My name is Amir Ali Khawaja, and I'm the owner of Goddard School in Arlington Heights.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your assistance.
All right, thank you all. And next on our new business agenda is a preliminary and final plat of subdivision for businesses to be located at 2021 or 221-229 West Rand Road in the village of Arlington Heights. Is the petitioner present?
Yes, this is Bob Wagoda. I represent the petitioner.
All right, Mr. Wagoda, why don't you tell us what you're looking to do here?
So I want to thank the trustees and the staff who have been so helpful in this process. So our client owns a property at the address that was noted, and there are two businesses located on there. There's a Goodyear tire business, Just Tires, and there's a CarX to the west. And the client's intention is to divide the property as noted on the plat of subdivision, which we submitted, and create two lots of record. By happy circumstance, there are already two different PIN numbers, so that won't be affected when we do the subdivision. And basically, the lots are going to stay the same in terms of the use. There will be complete zoning and all the regulatory compliance. There will be some improvements. There's going to be 4 new parking spaces created, and as noted in the staff report, a new landscape island to the north of certain spaces which are being created on the east lot, and some curb work that's on the property to accommodate a 4th space. The easements for the property will be unaffected. They already exist on the plat of subdivision for east-west circulation, but we're creating by separate recorded documents, by declaration, a new easement document for access into the property for both parcels, as well as a plotted easement for 6 parking spaces that will be located on the west parcel for the use of the east parcel owner, which will be dedicated for that property. We're going to have, based on the staff reporting for landscaping, we're going to be adding in some new landscaping, again, to be fully compliant. And again, upon the upon the completion of the subdivision and the creation of 2 lots, we expect it to be not only benign, but a better opportunity for business in the community. We are asking for a variance, several variances, and it's our view, and I think staff agreed, that the proposed property, the variance that requested, comply with the standards for variation. And, we're hoping to move to sale as promptly as we can get the final approval, which we hope will be forthcoming. That's really all I have. It's pretty simple and straightforward. It's really to accommodate not some change use, but the existing use, but to allow the property to be owned by two different holders.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gorda. Mr. Perkins.
Thank you. Everything was very well presented. So this is just a request to subdivide. There are 2 existing buildings. Most people would not know there's any difference after the subdivision. The only site improvements will be the addition of the 4 spaces that were referenced earlier. There's a minor variation for a couple of landscape islands right on the very southern portion of Lot 2 behind the building. There's landscaping around the perimeter of the site. So both staff and Plan Commission supported this particular request to allow each property to be able to be owned by a different ownership, but all the cross-access easements and shared parking are being set in place so that it would still continue to function similar to what it does today as a PUD with shared parking and shared ingress-egress. So both staff and Plan Commission recommended approval.
All right, thanks, Charles. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Rosenberg.
Thank you, Mayor. Charles, are both sites now compliant as far as parking wise?
Trustee Rosenberg, Lot 1 has a surplus of parking, and then 6 spaces on Lot 1 are being designated for use by Lot 2. And then with the addition of the 4 new spaces on Lot 2, Lot 2 would comply, but only with the 6 shared parking on Lot 1.
Okay.
So between the 2 sites, there's a surplus of 9 spaces, but there's more on Lot 1, so that's hence the reason for the shared parking agreement.
So does that ever become an issue as far as when you have potentially more customers that may want to use Lot 1 or Lot 2 or vice versa, whatever, as far as, when you have greater use on one and another that maybe usurping parking from the other? Or?
Well, it will entail, the property owners to continue to work together and cooperate with each other. The 6 spaces that are designated on Lot 1 for the benefit of Lot 2, would be reserved for Lot 2 for their benefit. So in theory, those spaces should be available for Lot 2.
And that cross easement obviously goes with both properties then as far as when they're
correct. There's a
recorded.
That is correct. There's a existing recorded easement in front of the buildings that runs west-east to allow potential connection to the property to the west or to the east in the future, as well as across these 2 properties. And then there'll be the new north-south cross-access easement to allow access from Rand Road into both lots.
Thank you. Mr. Wagoda, quick question. What is the intended use to stay as what it is now, or do we know what other tenants are going to be in there? Or?
Correct, Trustee. The anticipated use is unchanged from what exists right now.
Okay.
And so
in the area that was the convenience store, any plans for that?
You know what? It's about the vacant space. It's a small vacant space. Not yet. There is a possible sale of that property to another party now. The lot 1, of course, depending on getting the subdivision completed, and we hope it's leased, create economic activity for the community, and I think that's the plan of the prospective purchaser because it is vacant. It would generate more income, and but again, as it was noted, after the subdivision, the property will be absolutely zoning compliant and with the number of parking spaces required.
Okay, thank you.
That's certainly the hope. That's certainly the hope, sir.
Sure.
All right, any other questions from the board? Seeing none, any questions from the audience? Seeing none, did we have a motion?
No.
All right. Trustee LaBedz?
I would move that we concur with the recommendation of the Plan Commission for the approval of the variances as requested. Is that good enough?
Sounds good. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Trustee LaBedz, second by Trustee Baldino. Any further questions or comments from the board or from the audience?
Sir, can I ask a question? And again, it's being just for belt and suspenders. So does the motion include the approval of the plat of subdivision as well, not just the variations?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, that was the recommendation.
Thank you.
All right, roll call.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
Trustee Canty?
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Padovani?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
Trustee Scaletta?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes. Well, thank you, Mr. Wagoda. We appreciate it.
If I can take one moment, as I did in the staff meeting,
Please.
I really want to thank again the village, the governance, the governing authorities, in particular the staff. I've done this in many communities, and the folks I dealt with, it was the pleasure. And I look forward to dealing with Arlington Heights again. So thank you all very much.
Well, thank you, especially for that, Mr. Wagoda. We always like to hear a good report about our staff, so thank you.
Thanks, and good night.
You too. All right, we will move on then to the report of the village manager. Randy, anything tonight?
Nothing to report tonight, Mayor.
Randy, if I could just, in light of the Halloween day coming up, trick-or-treating, I wonder if you could just address that. I know there's a lot of questions in our community about how the village will be handling that. So are you prepared to talk about that tonight?
Sure, certainly. In Arlington Heights, we have posted the Illinois Department of Public Health and the Centers for Disease Control recommendations on how to safely participate in trick-or-treating activities. We are not really prohibiting or encouraging people to participate this year. That's going to be up to every individual family whether to have their kids participate or to participate as in their home. We do recommend and strongly suggest that people engage in best practices, and all of those are available on the village's website via the village's social media, and encourage people to check that out and to be safe.
All right, thanks, Randy. We will move on then to the board. Anything under petitions and communications from the board? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Was it Trustee Padovani? Let's give it to Trustee Scaletta, seconded by Trustee Padovani. Roll call.
Trustee Scaletta?
Yes.
Trustee Padovani?
Yes.
Trustee Schwingbeck?
Yes.
Trustee Canty?
Yes.
Trustee Rosenberg?
Yes.
Trustee Tinaglia?
Yes.
Trustee LaBedz?
Yes.
Trustee Baldino?
Yes.
President Hayes?
Yes, thank you all for joining us this evening. Enjoy the rest of the night and hopefully a little warmer weather the rest of this week. So thank you all.
Thanks,
Good night, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Good night.